The prospect pool is still terrible. The big trade deadline acquisition this year was Mikael Granlund, and that did not work out. And I think a lot of people pointed to that, saying that was not a good deal. Just kind of reading some stories back from this morning, that was trashed right off the beginning. But for me, I think the big downfall was not addressing their goaltending concerns. And I know Rob Rossi was on here a couple of weeks ago talking about that, and I have to agree there. When you look at, Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith, let alone the injury issues, you can't really predict that necessarily. But those are two goalies that I don't know if you could rely on them to be playoff caliber, especially when you look at the teams they had to fight in the wild card race. And so when it comes to that, just poor decisions all the whole time. It's just something needed to be changed. But at this point, you probably got to do a full rebuild at this point. I know that's hard to do when you got Crosby and you signed Malkin and Letang to deals, but like this team, if you just keep doing patchwork, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, it's tough because, Hextall and Burke came into a tough situation. You had the team that was sort of already on the downslope of its contention window, and you had Jim Rutherford. He'd gone for broke, and it was worth it getting those Stanley Cups, but the prospect pool was very depleted. So, yes, it was a tough assignment to sort of try and keep this oldest team in the NHL, only team in the NHL with an average age over 30, in the hunt. At the same time, I never liked the double hire there because there were two contradictory personalities. Brian Burke is a win now guy, makes aggressive trades. Ron Hextall, dating back to his previous tenure at Philadelphia, was extremely conservative as a GM. So you had a conservative guy and a wild man kind of trying to work together. I don't think it was ever going to be a good recipe for success. And if you look at the deals they made, it was just limping along. Jeff Carter, Ricard Raquel was a decent acquisition, of course, but Mikael Granlund, like you said, Jeff Petrie, you're adding in a lot of older pieces, just trying to sort of stay alive. And I think it was a team in denial. And I do think that the end of this playoff streak was a blessing because the Pittsburgh Penguins, as I wrote a couple weeks ago, they were headed in the same path as the Detroit Red Wings.